Aloha.
Hello?
Hey, aloha, Ozzy. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, actually.
Awesome to hear from you. And
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you good. Can you hear me? Am I loud enough?
Yeah.
All right. You sure? I can make it louder if you need.
No, it's fine.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, a huge aloha and mahalo, my brother. It's been 22 years since I've gotten to speak with you. So a big thank you and gigantic happy recent 74th birthday.
Thank you. And I don't know, mate. It's just 74. I'm considering what I've been through. I'm not. I don't feel that bad. Apart from the fact I'm still having a bit of difficulty walking, but I'm still working on it.
I know you're still having some issues walking, and I've read you're really working on it after your surgery and obviously trying to get ready for the tour. You looked fantastic at those Commonwealth Games. But back to your birthday, how did you celebrate turning 74?
Well, it was on Saturday, and we just had a bit of a dinner, lunch. My son came with his babies. My daughter came with her son. I had all my grandchildren from this marriage. I've got grandchildren in England from my previous marriage.
Right. So it was just a little get together and sort of an early start, if you will, to the gift giving season too. Your birthday coming just before the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not big on Christmas. I don't. I'm one of these guys that if I'm milling about town and I see something and there's no specific day, I see something and I go, oh, so-and-so would like that, and I buy it then.
Right.
Because it's kind of like, I hate when you expect, people expect you to buy them a gift and whatever. I think it's much more of a surprise when in the middle of a non-specific day, you went out and you saw, oh, Sharon would like, you buy something then.
I get it. It's cool. You're saying you'd rather give gifts more spontaneously and not linked to Christmas, let's say.
I mean, in England, for instance, Christmas, if you don't drink, you're fucking boring. Everyone gets hammered in England.
And that wouldn't be a surprise for you or something unfamiliar, but...
No, when I just said to you, I don't know how I made it to 74, I was the fucking ringleader of all that shit.
I know you were.
But I find it... life isn't so bad being straight,
Are you sober now?
Yeah. Well, I'm nearly sober. I use a little bit of marijuana. That's nothing compared to what I used to.
Right.
I don't do nothing anywhere near. I used to be doing fucking powders and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, you were a wild man, without question. And I'm grateful that...
I mean, my drinks yesterday are in history books.
Yeah. Your escapades are legendary, my brother. And
but but as I say, how I'll reach 74, I just don't know. And I mean, but I'll tell you what's happening to me now. Literally, nearly every week, somebody else I know dies.
Right.
When you're younger, it's once every fucking blue moon. But now, being 74, my friends are few and far between. And most of them are dead.
It's heavy. It's really heavy.
I mean, my wife said to me recently, do you know what our most valuable asset is right now? I said, I haven't got a clue. Don't know what it's the house is. In England, what is she goes? Time.
Time. It's the greatest asset.
I haven't got that. I mean, the best. If I make it to 100, which I don't think I will. That's only 25 years away. 25 years away. Which will fly by,
26 years we got.
I really want to get back on stage. I really want to do some gigs,
Well, thinking about that.
What I've done, I've set myself a date. The day I've set is But May, I think it's May we've decided on. I'm going to in May.
I can appreciate that. What you're saying is your plan is to get healthy and then try to hit the road with your tour in May.
That's my goal, to get ready for stage. I have to start everything from scratch again. My physical training, my vocal work. You know, it's a great challenge to have.
Man, it's a massive challenge to rehab after all you've been through. Like you said, doing the physical training, the vocal work to get in shape for something like a world tour, and probably smart to give yourself a timeline to work toward too.
You know, if I just go, well, I'm not going to go on the road until I'm better again. I have to set myself a time, you know.
For this rehabilitation you're talking about, and on that note of the when you think of your overall health these days, and so many people concerned, you know, my boss here, he just got diagnosed with ALS in the last couple of years.
What's that?
My boss here at the radio station, Jose, he got diagnosed with ALS in the last couple of years.
What's ALS?
ALS, it's Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a real heavy disease.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just thinking about the same time frame, I guess, because that was the period you came out with your Parkinson's diagnosis.
You know, I mean, I didn't suddenly get Parkinson's. I mean, I had Parkinson's for quite some time, and it's something. But my Parkinson's guy said, my case, in all the people he's ever seen, he said, my case must be the mildest case that he's ever seen, they've ever seen. So, but that's no insurance, because I could wake up tomorrow morning and be paralyzed. I don't think about it. Because I'm one of these guys, I think about it, talk myself into having a seizure, you know.
Right.
I just get on with it. You know? I don't really think about it, you know.
That it's affected you.
I don't think about it, so it's not a problem. It's just there. Because, you know, things like you're going to make your boss got Lou Gehrig's disease, you know?
Right.
Parkinson's. They said, oh, you got Parkinson's. And I knew about the word, but that's about it. I didn't know what he did, what happened. I mean, my son's got MS. Jack's got MS.
I lost my mom to MS, and I had sort of forgotten about Jack having multiple sclerosis. I guess that came out a ways back, huh?
Oh, he had MS for a while now. He does a lot for the foundation and things. It's great. He's not me. He goes, I just get up and do what I got to do. I just don't think about it, you know. Hold on one sec.
Sure.
Can you do some with these fucking dogs? I can't hear what it's like. Okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you, my brother.
I've got about 15 dogs barking in the house.
I can hear them. It's adorable. You've got a great thing to concentrate on, my brother, which is this patient number 9, which is, I got to give you some credit. I've been a fan of yours for your entire solo career when you were in Sabbath, and there's so many catchy hooks on this record. And like the title track, Patient Number 9, I'm curious, for me, it took 3 or 4 times of hearing it, and then I heard the hook. The hook got me. I was curious for you. Was it like that for you? Did you have to hear it a lot of times?
You know what? Working with Andrew Watt is so, he makes it so easy.
It's the guy who produced the record.
It was effortless. And usually, by the end of an album, I'm fucking arguing with my wife, the record company, whatever.
Right.
I just went, had fun with it, you know. It was great.
So not stressful at all. And tell me about, one of the cool things is you bring this couple of your peers. You've got a couple guys on this thing. It's so unbelievable to think Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton.
I mean, and Andrew said, you know, it would be great on this track, Jeff Beck. I said, well, I thought, they're going to think I'm a fucking lunatic.
They think you were a lunatic for asking. It is comedy imagining Jeff Beck's people getting your request.
So, but it turned out that my business manager in England is also Jeff Beck's manager.
Oh.
And I asked him to ask Jeff, and Jeff said, yeah. And I love his work.
Have you ever met Jeff Beck?
Yeah.
What's a memory of meeting him?
Sorry?
What's your memory of meeting Jeff?
I'm at a gig. It was all right.
I guess after you meet the Beatles, nothing's a big deal.
But you got to understand, he's not one Paul McCartney. I was like, grrr, you know?
Say that again.
It's like when I met Paul McCartney, that was the biggest highlight of my life. My hero. I couldn't believe it, you know. and you know, fans of mine, I was talking about it when I did like an in-store, met a bunch of my fans.
You're saying you were at an in-store meeting some of your fans.
And I said to him, one guy, I said, when I met Paul McCartney, it was the thrill of my life. And the kid said to me, that's what I feel like when I meet you. And I was like, fuck, you know, I never thought about that.
That's exactly how it is with people. So McCartney's and meeting. How about Eric Clapton? Now, he's on the record. And what?
I'll tell you a funny, if you got a couple of minutes.
Sure, of course.
I will tell you a story about Eric Clapton.
Please.
Which is fucking God's honest truth. Many years ago, my wife and I were doing an award show in New York. I'm talking fucking 30 years ago. So I did this award. I got to get this award. So I got to New York, and I got me and Grace Jones. You know, that really tall black chick.
Yeah, I know Grace Jones. Yeah.
So we do this award, and then afterwards, this guy comes up to me, and I want to do a photo of you, Grace Jones, and Eric Clapton, and I'm thinking, because Eric Clapton is like God, you know. So I go, I've just come out of the fucking rehab, and I'm fresh out of the fucking. I've got no shields around me. I have no alcohol in me. So I didn't realise that he'd just come out of a rehab as well. So he's fucking as crazy as me.
So you're saying he had just come out of rehab too, and is also kind of stir crazy, going through a sort of withdrawal.
In his own way, he's like, because when you don't have the alcohol, when you're alcoholic, you're naked. He's not going around with no clothes on, you know.
Freshly sober, and Clapton too, and feeling socially exposed, I guess, without the shield, as you put it, of alcohol and drugs.
So I'm in this room, and there's Eric Clapton, Grace under me, and the guy goes to me, do one of your Ozzy crazy faces, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. Just do the fucking photo, and let's go. I'm as nervous as fuck, because it's like Eric Clapton and me.
What a scene. So the photographer's got you, Grace Jones, and Clapton together, insisting you make some kind of crazy face, and that's probably the last impression you want to make with finally meeting Eric Clapton.
So this guy wouldn't let up with his fucking, crazy fucking, my mouth open, the Ozzy look.
Right.
So I go, if I don't do it, I'm going to be all fucking, I'm really, my armpits are soaking with sweat. So I do the face, and I'm really freaked out. So I said to Sharon, you know what? That fucking photograph, he's going to stop that photograph. So I was really freaked out. The photograph never emerged.
So after all that, the photo doesn't turn up.
So 10 years later, I'm in the valley here in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. It's quite a big room.
Oh, I bet. An Alcoholics Anonymous meeting that you're in L.A. Gotta be.
So at the end of the meeting, I run to my car and drive off. 3 weeks later, I go into the same meeting, and he's there again. I'm thinking he's going to... I'm not going to fuck... That's how sick my head is. I'm thinking he's hated me since that 10 years ago. I'm sure he never did anything. But my paranoia was absurd.
That's something else. You're saying after you see him again at the AA meeting, your paranoia from being sober and clean has you thinking Clapton's been hating you somehow over the last 10 years for you making the crazy Ozzy face in that photo with him.
I was convinced that he was going to eventually... He came at me because he found out where I was, and he's going to tell me what an asshole I was. So the next week, I got to run across the road, and he goes, oh, I go, fuck he's going to tell me?
So you're saying you go to the next meeting, and not only is Clapton there again, but he calls out to you like, "Hey, Ozzy," and in your paranoia, you think he's going to be mentioned in that photo.
Hey, it's good to see you in the room. Do you live here, man?
So after all that, it turns out he just wanted to say it was good to see you at the AA meeting, and is sort of a regular dude.
I'm trying to go, this guy's all right, you know.
Wow.
The fucking following week, I'm at a music stand. I pick up a magazine, and there's that fucking paragraph from 10 years prior with me, Grace Jones, and Eric Clapton in the magazine. I was fucking freaked out, man.
It finally got dug up.
I mean, it probably was released loads of time. But I had built this fucking thing up in cocaine. It makes you fucking paranoid, you know?
Right, paranoid. All those years that Clapton would be somehow looking down on you for having to make the crazy Ozzy face in that picture with him years ago. But in the end, you realize there was none of that. And he was just a cool guy after all.
He was a great guy. He was a really nice guy.
Did you make a friendship? Did you guys, like, how did he end up on...
I'm not one of these people who likes to be seen with him and her or whatever.
I know.
If that's it, I'm very...
private.
Yeah. Trying to be well. My wife makes sure I'm behave myself.
You're funny. Sharon makes sure you behave yourself. And I totally get it, man. You're not one of those cats who needs to be seen with certain people or places. You're very down to earth.
I'm not one of these guys who wants to be seen with this one and that one. I'm quite a private man, you know.
I know. I love that about you. That's why your people love you so much.
Sorry?
I said that's why people love you so much, because you're down to earth and you're not full of shit like a lot of people. You know.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying. So how did he end up on the record? Whose idea was it to put him on the new record? Andrew.
I'm sorry. Andrew said Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck. And it just came. I thought I was going to say, Ozzy Osbourne, fuck off. They're both. And Jeff Beck was going, if you don't like it, I'll play it again.
Wow.
Oh, fuck, you know.
Unbelievable.
I mean, you know, it's just I don't like to be a nuisance to people, you know, anymore.
Oh, man, and he wanted to do it. Now, did you get feedback afterwards? Did either of those, Ozzy, did they tell you, like Jeff Beck or Clapton, tell you that they liked the final product, I guess is what I'm asking.
I haven't
talked to them, okay.
I haven't said anything.
Okay. You know what's weird about your record and one of your houses? I was thinking of the title track of Patient Number 9, and it's basically about mental health, to put it kind of bluntly, right? And when you think about your house in England, the welder's house, tell people what you know about the history of your property, because it kind of has a weird connection to mental health.
What was it again? I think like a million years since I've lived there. I'm only refurbished right now.
Right, I know you haven't lived there in a long time, and I did read you guys are putting a bunch of dough into it, working on it, had a bunch of leaks and stuff, and also accommodations for you and your mobility issues. But it's a super old historic building. Even got its own Wikipedia page, the Welder's House. Folks can look it up, and especially with all the talk about your potential move back there.
During the war, it was
it was like a home for lunatics. St. Luke's Hospital for Lunatics bought the place, right? And then it was also a house for a convalescent home for women with... Oh, did I lose you? Hey, my brother.
Hello?
Perfect. You got it.
So, what were we saying?
We were talking about the house and like how interesting it is that
it's just over 100 years old.
Yeah, it's over 100 years old. It used to have like a mental health connection. It was a nursing home. Were you aware that your house had that kind of connection?
No, it wasn't. I found out these things as we went along.
I get you. So you weren't really aware before you got it, but after living in it, you became aware of some of its fascinating history.
But you see, the thing in England, if it's a listed house, what they call, you get different grades, grade 1, 2, and 3. You can't if it's a listed one building, you can't put like a modern window in. You've got to be done the way it was done when it was built, with the old methods, and there's very few people that work doing that, instead of now they used to use wooden plugs and things.
Right.
It's an art, it's a craft. So when we're having things done to the house, you've got to keep it to the building code of the house when it was built, which is a royal pain in the butt,
Right. And people can read about it, like you were saying, the grade 2 listing. It's online at Wikipedia. It's fascinating to learn about the house.
Yeah, I mean, so gets me in Los Angeles here. You would think that I've sort of different buildings from the movie industry. Charlie Chaplin's building or whatever.
Right.
They pull them down here.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. A lot of those older buildings that are otherwise preserved or held on to in the UK and in a lot of places in California, they often, you're saying, get torn down, replaced with newer buildings. The other part of your story, before I wrap it up with you, because you've been really generous today with your time, your entire career from Sabbath on to today has had you associated with the cross. And I've never heard you talk about what is your own personal religious background, how your mom and dad raised you.
Well, I was christened Protestant, which is, I don't know what you call that in America. Because I grew up in primarily a Catholic Protestant area.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to church. I don't believe you got to go to church to be a good person. I think, but doing something for your fellow man out of the blue is a good. Like for instance, I very often see a homeless person. I'll just give them a bit of cash,
Right, well, you got a huge heart, and I appreciate your approach there. How were your marriage ceremonies conducted with Sharon in terms of religious representation?
Well, we got married in Hawaii for the first time. Then we got married again at a Jewish wedding.
Right.
And then we went out, every time I used to go out and come back, about 3 weeks later, we doing things that married people shouldn't do. She would forgive me and renew the vows again. But, I think we've had ceremonies about 4 or 5 now.
4 or 5 ceremonies you've had.
Yeah, it's my hobby.
Listen to you. And I'm guessing these days being sober, not celebrating quite the same way for each wedding ceremony.
No, it's just Dad's on one again, Mummy. So, because Sharon, when the kids were little, I'd wake up to an empty house. But that got old very quick, and I don't do much anymore.
Well, certainly better than in the old days, going on those epic benders.
I'd go for a drink on Monday and come back home fucking 3 weeks later. But I don't miss it. The one thing that Sharon often says, she said, I was always the drugs and booze was one thing, but I never thought you'd stop smoking tobacco, which I did, which I'm fucked if I know I did that.
No more tobacco. The only drug you do is you smoke some pot once in a while, you said.
A little bit of it's just, at the end of the day, couple of puffs and I got to put me to sleep.
It is Ozzy Osbourne. What a pleasure today. Patient number 9, new album that hit #1. Guest stars Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton. 2 #1 hits on the radio. 4 Grammy nominations. How you going to top this, my brother? I have no idea.
You know what? It's kind of like a problem because I've got to do something different. Something different. I haven't really thought about it. I don't, but I'm sure something will work out.
No doubt, no doubt.
I want to do something special. You know, I don't know. This will be the third album I've done with Andrew Watt, and I've just got a really
good relationship.
I'm really excited about this new and the next album I do with him. You know.
How about Carlos Santana and John McLaughlin?
No, I don't know. I mean, if the song, if Andrew goes, you know, those people come and the names come up, I'll go for it.
I get you.
I'd like to. I'd like the guy from Pink Floyd to do a solo.
David Gilmour.
I mean, he's a great guitar player.
David Gilmour, you're talking about? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
And you were going to have Jimmy Page, I heard. You tried to get him too, and that didn't work out. Isn't there always a historical connection between Sabbath and Zeppelin?
Only the fact that Robert Plant and John Bonham came from the similar places where we were. I mean, that was huge. I mean, Robert's a fucking great singer, and Bonham was a great drummer. And them first couple of Zeppelin albums were really monumental to me. I mean, I can remember when we were doing a club in London.
You and Black Sabbath doing an early gig. You're at a club in London.
And me and Geezer had previously run into Robert Plant in Birmingham town centre.
Right, you're saying you and Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler had previously run into Robert Plant.
And then Geezer says, what are you doing? He says, well, I've been offered a job with the new Yardbirds. He said, but I don't know whether I want to take it or not.
Wow, that's history. So Robert Plant is telling you, I've been offered a job in the new Yardbirds, which is what Led Zeppelin was first going to be called. And he wasn't sure if he was going to take it.
Yeah. And then we do this club in London, and in between the sets, I said to Geese, I'm sure that's fucking Robert Plant singing.
As you're standing around, you hear the music playing that somebody's playing on the PA system, and you know it sounds like Robert's voice.
And he goes, I go over to the DJ, and I says, what's the name of this band? Who is this on the... He goes, it's somebody called Led Zeppelin. I go, I go back to the stage. The next break, I'm thinking that's fucking. So I went back to the DJ and I said, "What's the name of the singer of this band?" He says, "Hang on, I'm back with Robert Plant."
That's funny. So the club DJ tells you it's a band named Led Zeppelin, and it just leaves you confounded.
Yeah. I said he must have joined a band called Led Zeppelin. Never heard of him. So it turns out that they changed the name from the New Yardbirds to Led Zeppelin.
Right.
I used to go drinking with John Bonham.
You'd go drinking with Bonham. Yeah, his little sister was on the show telling us stories about you hanging out with him back in the day.
It was very sad when he died.
You were close to those two guys, huh? Robert and John.
Not so much Robert. I've met Robert a few times. But John Bonham was a drinker, and so was I, you know.
I thought they were going to try to get you on the Swan Song label. I thought you told the story that one time... one time, they came down to the studio when we were making one of our albums, trying to get us on their label. We weren't having any of it. Wow, so they did. They tried to get you on Swan Song.
Yeah. Bad company, they got them.
Right. Yep, they did. And your final couple of questions, Ozzy. When did you get that nickname? Your name is John Michael.
He always was Ozzy. At school, they called me Ozzy.
Like from the beginning, kindergarten, when you were...
He was just one of them names.
Huh. And
Osbourne.
And so you went by, and when did you first put that on your hand? Your first tattoo is your name, right?
Oh, that was when I was about 15.
15, you put that on there. So you had been called Ozzy from what, 6, 7, that young? Really young?
Yeah, when I first went to school. I mean, my immediate family, my sisters and brothers, called me John. But anybody, if I'm walking down the street, if someone wants to go, John, I wouldn't stop.
Right.
My wife calls me Ozzy.
All right, well, that makes sense. Not the kids, though. They call you Dad, yeah?
Yeah.
They call you Dad. And what's your most recent tattoo?
A bat on my hand.
Ah, appropriate for you. Where did you get that?
At the end of Ordinary Man.
Okay, so the last couple of years you got it.
Yeah.
Well, we've appreciated getting to talk with you, man, and it's just what an incredible life to consider how fresh and current this patient number 9.
What I want to do now is, I want to write another book. I've already done one, but I want to do another one.
Like, what's the angle? What's the topic you want to get into?
I don't know, because when you get a ghostwriter, he asks you questions and you answer the questions. It's kind of like an interview, really.
Wow. Well, you can always ask me. I'd be happy to help you work on your book. I'd come up with questions for you in a heartbeat.
Keep that in mind.
Say again?
Oh, keep that in mind.
I appreciate it, and I really do hope you had fun talking today.
Yeah, it's good. Apart from the phone problems.
Yeah, except for that. Right, now we got through it, and...
Is that... Where are you now? Hawaii?
I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii.
I was just there about 2 or 3 months ago, too.
In Honolulu? Where were you?
Where were we? In Hawaii. What's the name?
Kahului? You were in Maui?
We were not Maui, not Honolulu.
Kauai.
Honolulu.
Kauai.
I can't remember. We were one of the islands. We had a good time.
What island did you actually get married on?
We got married on Maui.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not in Honolulu.
40 years ago.
Unbelievable. What a history you've got. And hopefully we'll come back. I don't know if your tour is going to have you come back here.
What I used to do is do a tour, play Honolulu, which would pay for the crew.
Yeah, that makes sense. You play Honolulu, and then that pays for...
Kona, that was the name of the island we went to.
Oh, this recent time, Kona.
Yeah.
Right on. Very cool place. Stay safe, Ozzy.
All right, God bless. Take care.